Madam Speaker, I was still at the same time going to also sympathize with Hajat. And it says that we are in the month of gender-based violence. The rights of women of this country must be respected in case it happened. Because the mother of a nation is truly the foundation of every country. I really want to thank you also. At the same time, I see our parliament has changed. It looks like a House of Lords. This makes Uganda as a country very proud. And thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Lob.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Maybe before Lob says something, honorable members, kindly, this is a festival season. Just imagine when you're driving, everybody out there is not okay. He's also rushing for something else. Let's drive carefully. We almost lost a member this weekend, and the member has been hospitalized.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to join you firstly in commiserating with our colleague who was involved in an accident. Sadly, I learned somebody passed on in that car. We pray that he recuperates soon, our colleague, so he can rejoin us. Honourable Speaker, I also want to welcome you back as you welcome us back from a mini recess of sorts. I see a lot has changed here. The lights are very bright. I am hoping these are the kind of lights that cannot be switched off, because the last time we were here, all of a sudden it became dark and there was fire and brimstone here. So I'm glad the lights are brighter. Hopefully they'll remain brighter and that they are the kind which cannot be switched off. Unfortunately, though, Right Honourable Speaker, normally I'm able to see my friend the Prime Minister, and we have some chats across. Now there is a wall. I'm not able to see the Prime Minister very easily. Normally I'm close to the Speaker, and now the Speaker has been taken the other side. There's lots of changes which we are trying to get used to, but I'm glad we are back. I also want to welcome back our colleagues, the media, who are part of us as an institution. Rule 31 provides for the fact that the public ought to follow the goings on here, because we deliberate here on behalf of the public. And the only way they can follow is when the media is present. Last time they were not. Right Honourable Speaker, I have two very quick issues for your ruling. They're slightly unrelated, but I'll make them quick. One of those, Right Honourable Speaker, is I'm seeking through your office that government would help us understand something that's seemingly convoluted of late. Ugandans travel within the East African community, and it should be freely anyhow. But government has severally been picking people, especially from Kenya, who have traveled. The first lot went for a training. They were picked and brought back. Most recently, a senior opposition leader in this country, your former leader, Right Honourable Speaker, Dr. Kizza Besigye, was picked from Nairobi, Kenya, by Ugandan security operatives who brought him here, and now he's before the court martial. Many things confused me, even as a lawyer, that I thought government would probably elucidate on, so that we have a good understanding. Even those of us who are trying to understand the legalities, to know on behalf of the country how this gets to happen, that it can be okay for people to continuously be picked from a neighboring country. I heard one of the issues they were raising was he was found with a gun in Kenya, and I kept thinking, but jurisdiction-wise, that doesn't work. It should be Kenya to complain. So many questions, and yet the answers are too few. I thought government would help us understand. Has this become the modus operandi? As citizens who normally travel to these other countries?
Honourable Law, as I had already said, there is a statement to that effect coming from Honourable Semujo, and it he actually served it to my office.
Thank you. I'm glad my colleague, who, by the way, just returned from jail, I'm on procedure, Honorable, and procedure takes precedence, sir. Thank you very much. As I was saying, Honorable Semuju is a victim, so he will have a lot to share with us. But I thought I should throw that out, and my colleague will elucidate. The second issue, which will be the final issue, Right Honorable Speaker, on 6th of November, we were here deliberating on a couple of things for the good of our people. Right Honorable Speaker, I made certain remarks, especially in reference to remarks you had made during the coffee bill discussion, and I said that in my considered view, the remarks which had been made by yourself were tribal, in my considered view. Honorable Speaker, you said that you will only apologize, and you challenged me, and I took up the challenge. You said that you can only apologize if I table evidence showing that you made remarks which were tribal, in my view. I thought, who am I to be challenged by the Speaker, and I don't follow through. Honorable Speaker, I have carried some evidence which I want to table. You will look at it and examine it. It's both on CD and flash disk, which has got videos.
Where is the origin of that?
Of remarks that you made.
Where is the origin of that?
The origin is the national broadcaster, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. But Honorable Speaker, you will examine them and you'll give your ruling.
My lord.
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker.
Don't go on a fishing expedition.
No, I am not.
Because when you get what is being broadcasted there, it is not what I have said. The broadcaster is broadcasting its own things. It is not, if you want, go to the Hansard. That is, go to the Hansard and get it from there, and it will be authentic. And I can assure you, once you have it and it is authentic, this country has my apology.
But most obliged. That's why I said, you see, even in court, we table evidence, and then there can be a ruling on the evidence. So when you asked me for evidence, I have just executed my duty to table it. You're going to examine it, Right Honorable Speaker. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Member, incidentally, that statement of yours that day was expunged from the Hansard because there was nobody to elaborate on it, and you had already left the house. But going back to coffee bill, you've gone back to the coffee bill. Actually, the coffee prices have gone up.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as I wrap up.
Honorable members, what Honorable Semuju wants to raise, first give him time.
Let me just wrap up and my colleague comes on. I'm just wrapping up, Right Honorable Speaker, with the final issue. And you have actually mentioned what I wanted to say, that Honorable Speaker, you expunged remarks from the Hansard about a claim that I made of security operatives raiding the chambers of parliament after the media was chased away, lights switched off, and our colleagues, including women, were bundled up by men and all of that. And I said, Right Honorable Speaker, who are these? Who, in my view, were security operatives? And you said that that was a defamatory statement because these were not operatives. I said, well, good enough, the Speaker is our leader here. There are cameras here who can help us understand who raided this place, who manhandled Honorable Aisha and all the other people that were manhandled. And again, I know that there are cameras in here, but I said I'll still put it on recording. I have a CD here and a flash disk of people who raided these our chambers and manhandled people for you to examine and help us understand who were these. Because even right now, Right Honorable Speaker, you have said you don't know who these were. That actually worried me the most, because you are the head of this institution, you are our leader, and our safety is to a great extent your responsibility. So if my speaker does not know who raided this place and manhandled members of parliament, I am actually very worried. And I'm hoping that, Honorable Speaker, you'll follow it up, because the evidence is here, as I have tabled it, for you to follow up and help us understand. Because if my speaker doesn't know, then who knows? I thank you.
Honorable Lob, that evidence is not admissible. What is admissible is an official report that is under Rule 228. What you could do, please write to the Clerk of Parliament and ask the Clerk of Parliament for all what happened in the proceedings of Parliament on that day. So please do that. In the public gallery, we have VIP public gallery. This afternoon we have Honorable Bitangaro Samuel, a former member of Parliament of Bufumbira South. You're most welcome. He's accompanied by his spouse Barbara. Most welcome. They are here to witness grace take an oath. You're most welcome. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of family members, relatives and friends who have come to witness the swearing in of Grace, a woman member of Parliament elect for Kisoro District. Please stand up. You're most welcome. She's now the member of Parliament who was elected for Kisoro, now member of Parliament. Grace, congratulations, and you're most welcome. Join me in welcoming them. In the public gallery, we have Rukoba United Group from Lower Madi constituency. That is Madiokolo. Madiokolo, you're most welcome. They are represented by Honorable Afidra Olema Ronald, Honorable Kia Joan Aniku, and Honorable Etuka Isaac. You're most welcome, and thank you so much for coming all the way from West Nile. You want to greet your people?
Hello. Right Honorable Speaker, it's a great pleasure for me, together with my honorable colleagues, to take this distinguished honor to see my own who made me what I am and who sent me in this house, being present to witness the proceedings of the House being chaired by you. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the group you see here are the group of young men who survive out of, young men and women who make ends meet out of cutting tires, used tires, and they make it into different items. And this is how they survive. They pay school fees with, they make their lives ends meet with. And it is out of that they made their contributions to support me. I'm so grateful for you. This is the Parliament you sent me to, and you sent the rest of the team here too. I look forward to 2026 being sent back. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to welcome you and the rest of the colleagues from the short recess we have been in. Madam Speaker, in your communication, you have indicated that you would like us to present the budget framework paper at an earliest opportunity. I wish to inform the House that preparations are underway, and from our side, we should be able to lay the budget framework paper on Thursday, 12 December 2024. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable members in the public gallery again this afternoon, we have a delegation from Malera Sub-County Local Government Council 3, that is Bukedea District, composed of councillors, elders, and technical staff. They are represented by the speaker of the LOC 3s, and then the sub-county deputy speaker, Honorable Lupo Joan. They are represented here by Honorable Ikojo John Bosco and me, my good self. Join me in welcoming my people. They are the reason why I'm here. And Mama, bring me back and post. Honorable Ibrahim.
I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Rule 54, I'm seeking your guidance. Rule 54, statements by members. It says that any statement by a member shall be presented on Thursday. Today is a Tuesday. Madam Speaker, again, Rule 73 talks about sub judice rule. We already have an intimation on what he's going to present. And
Why are you legislating in anticipation?
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Leader of Opposition was mentioning a matter related to what you stopped him to actually conclude, and you said Honorable Somju is going to raise. But that matter, why I wanted to raise that at that time is that the matter is in court. So I'm wondering whether we are not against Rule 73.
Honorable member, out of respect, let's listen to each other and we'll get a ruling to that effect. We'll get a ruling to that effect. And let's not legislate in anticipation.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you. The colleague raising a point of procedure, I told you he is our neighbor in my village. He has not been able to shed off his old habits of RDCs. Madam Speaker, this statement...
Give us the statement.
This statement, Madam Speaker, on abduction of Dr. Kizza Besigye from Nairobi, Kenya on November 16th, 2024. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I am presenting this statement in line with Rule 25 L and M 59 and 64. Right Honorable Speaker, Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, former Forum for Democratic Change President, four-time presidential candidate, and now one of the promoters of the People's Front for Freedom, was abducted from Nairobi, Kenya on November 16, 2024. He had traveled to Nairobi on the invitation of NARC Kenya political party leader and former Kenyan Justice Minister Martha Karua. Dr. Besigye was scheduled to speak at Martha Karua's book Against the Tide launch. He, together with Ajobed Rutare Kamuregeya, a senior PFF leader, was abducted from a riverside apartment in Eastland, where he was attending a brief meeting before proceeding for dinner for Karua's book launch guests. He was then driven across borders by his captors. His passports, national ID, wallet, and other belongings remained at Warid Hotel, where he had been booked in. Dr. Besigye did not or was not made to undergo immigration protocols on the Kenyan or Ugandan immigration sides. News of his missing started circulating 3 days after his abduction on Tuesday, November 19th. Right Honorable Speaker and members, Dr. Vesje was then miraculously arraigned before a military disciplinary committee, commonly known as court martial, on Wednesday, November 20th. Charges of possession of 2 pistols, which were learned that day that is a monopoly of UPDF, were read to him and he is co-accused. They also charged with holding meetings in Switzerland, Greece, and Nairobi for purposes of undermining the security of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the abduction of Dr. Vesje has been condemned widely by the UN, lawyers, human rights defenders, democracy-seeking organizations, and individuals. Even the Uganda Human Rights Commission has condemned this abduction and demanded for Vesje's immediate release. I call upon you, Madam Speaker, and the House to join the world in condemning this heinous crime of abduction. Condemned because there are laws, international and domestic, that govern extradition and deportation. The Ugandan, Kenyan, and international laws were all in this case not followed. Only criminals can do this. You may not be concerned with the Vesje, but be concerned with the state continuing to act criminally. I want to emphasize that point. You may not be concerned with the Vesje, but you should be concerned with the state continuing to act criminally. Madam Speaker, I raised the issue of the 36 PFF members that were abducted from Kisumu in this House. They were handcuffed and driven across borders in similar manner. The 3 women who were part of this group were not allowed to ease themselves for 14 hours. When they were finally allowed, it is male soldiers that were pulling their knickers and ordered them to urinate as they remained handcuffed. They were later charged with terrorism. Madam Speaker and members, we are concerned with the continuing human rights violations by the NRM government, including ministers working in jails and making people to confess to crimes they have not committed, and then getting the NRM chairman to pardon them. All these things concern us, and they should concern every MP. This parliament should also demand for an explanation from Kenya. Even Chris was abducted. I went to see him at Ginger Road. They had denied him simple things, including slippers, that giant you see there. This parliament, Madam Speaker, should also demand for an explanation from Kenya. You know, he was representing us in finding out how the Honorable Nevanda died. They charged him with stealing body parts.
Is that a part of your statement?
No, I was reminding him to sit down and listen to the statement. It
Maybe
is not part of the statement.
Maybe you wanted to compliment
I am
on
sorry,
what?
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and members, we are concerned with the continuing human rights violations by the NRM government. This must stop. We demand for an explanation from government, Madam Speaker. This parliament should also demand for an explanation from Kenya whether it still subscribes to the East African Community Brotherhood. The ministers of internal affairs, who heads immigration, foreign affairs, and defense, Madam Speaker, must be made to explain to this Parliament this incident and to the country. Madam Speaker, I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Government.
Right Honourable Speaker,
You'll come. Let him first respond.
I am alive to the fact that the issue substantially raised by Honourable Uganda is a matter before a court established through an Act of Parliament, the UPDF Act. What I can confirm on behalf of government is what is already in the public domain. That Colonel retired Dr. Kiza Besigye was arrested, produced in court, charged, and remanded to Luzira prisons, and he will be availed back to court on the 2nd of December 2024. On the call for condemnation, I wish to persuade my honorable colleague that that may be too early, because the matter before court will be a subject of evidence, a subject of prosecution, and the outcome definitely will be known. It may be too early for us to condemn. But what I can also advise is that, honorable colleagues, let us accept to always play within the rules. Honorable Semuju and myself, we are sportsmen. We always play within the rules. At times, you invite the referee to warn you verbally. At times, you are given a yellow card. But if you are an habitual offender, you are red carded. So let us advise fellow countrymen and women to always play within the rules. Because the question is, just like Balotelli scored against Manchester United and he pulled a t-shirt written on, why always me scoring against Manchester United? Why always you and not me and not her? Why always you? That must be a fundamental question. I beg to submit.
Yes, Council. Not the junior council, the senior.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you. I have listened to the response of the government chief whip, and we are all aware that this is a matter before court. There are, however, two fundamental issues that government should make a statement on, clarify, and that relates to our relationship with Kenya, especially in light of the fact that we have an extradition treaty with that country. How safe are Ugandans? Now, that is outside the purview of sub judice, if we really want to hide under that. Number two, there is the element of...
Honorable Basalira, government will make a statement without going to the merits of the case. Okay? Government will make a statement. You should come with a statement without going into the merits of the case.
I thank you for that, because I didn't hear the government chief whip undertake to make a statement. But as they come, they must also, Right Honourable Speaker, comment on the apparent illegalities of people or a supposed criminal, as you want to proscribe him, or suspect, being brought back into the country and does not undergo the due immigration processes, to wit, having their documents stamped by immigration officers, because that in itself is criminal under our laws. So those are things you must really comment on for purposes of assuring the country that whatever happened was undertaken in total observance and adherence to the immigration laws and other laws as they exist in our region. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Defense will bring a statement to that effect. let's not discuss what is before court. Let's not discuss that. In the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have Honorable Ambassador William Chinobe. Chinobe, a former member of Parliament of Katkamu North, is Kinobe James, accompanied by his spouse, Mrs. Mary Chinobe. They are here to witness the swearing in of Honorable Grace Akifesa. You're most welcome. And thank you for coming. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I've lived for a while in this country. I saw recently...
the minister bringing a statement is not actually defense, internal affairs and foreign. Yes?
Not so long ago, Right Honourable Speaker, we had a case of a one Jamil Mukuru who was arrested in Tanzania for terrorism, and the due process was followed for him to be brought back to face trial in the country. Right Honourable Speaker, just not so long ago, we had a big problem in this country with our neighbors Rwanda, where the top police officers were arrested and court-martialed for allegedly participating in the abduction of Rwandans who were in Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, that should form the framework for today's discussion. Right Honourable Speaker, how have we degenerated to that as a country? I don't know what is happening to those manning the security of this country. Why is the things that we thought would not happen, we are now forming the headlines on BBC,
Honorable
on
Search.
international media?
Search, eh?
Yes, yes.
Search. Search. Honorable Search. I thought we had made a ruling on that to wait for the report and then we discuss the report.
Most obliged, Right Honourable Speaker. But there are those that attack the innocent conscience of Ugandans that may not wait. If the government was proactive, they would even have demanded to be placed on the order paper, but they have not. And once they keep quiet, we have no any other option but to put it to government and those manning our security
That's why
circles.
we have put it to government to bring an explanation to that effect.
Yes, but to show that even this side, we are not complicit with what happens. That abuse of the due process, Right Honourable Speaker and members, should cut across the entire parliament.
Thank you.
We can't see what is
Mama
happening,
Mabera.
is going
Mama
back
Mabera.
to what happened in the 80s. And the
Yes.
The ministers, you can't see it when this is happening. Okay, then come and tell the country.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. You have already guided on the matter that the government comes up with a statement without touching on matters of sub judice. So I think we can have a debate when that statement comes. But why I rose was clarified because the Honourable Semu Uganda, yes, he is, made an assertion that I was abducted by government. And that's because I stole body parts. I just wanted to clarify for the record that in the 9th Parliament, our colleague, the Honourable Serena Nevanda, died. May her soul continue to rest in peace. And I was a parliamentary commissioner then. And the parliamentary commission and the family and police, we had a tripartite arrangement in establishing the cause of death. But in the process, the state saw that some of the steps we took, especially to send samples outside the country, which is a normal practice within the medical profession, the state thought that it was irregular and unlawful. And indeed, I was arrested. Yes, arrested together with other colleagues. We appeared in court for 9 months, and the court ruled that we had no case to answer. The Honorable Katuntu was my lawyer. So I just wanted to clarify.
Actually, Brenda was your surety.
Surety, yes. So I just wanted to clarify that I was not abducted, but I was arrested and I didn't steal. I didn't steal. And I told the state then that I'm a medical professional and I knew what I was doing was correct. But I went through the due process of court, and I was declared innocent.
Thank you.
And therefore, the Honorable Semuju, from now onwards, just I have no regrets, I'm not angry, I'm not annoyed, but I follow the due process of the law. So, like the Chief Whip has said, we all talk of respect for the rule of law. Since our senior brother, Dr. Besige, has been produced in the court, let's leave the process to take its course without Parliament injuring that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, it's good you have ruled that government should come with a comprehensive statement on this matter. I want to suggest an addition in that statement. Honourable Speaker, the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary of Kenya, Mr. Songei Korir, at a press conference said Kenya had no involvement whatsoever in the arrest of Dr. Kizza Besigye. Government should explain to us how then it went to Kenya without the authorization of Kenya and picked up Dr. Kizza Besigye. Because the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary mentioned that. I think it will be important for that explanation to come through. Because Uganda can't keep going wherever and picking people. But also, finally, Honourable Speaker, I think you need to guide government on when they should bring this statement. Otherwise, they might take donkey's years conveniently and not bring that statement.
I have asked the Minister of Internal Affairs to bring the report and Foreign Affairs, but as of yesterday, I got a letter from Honorable Muhose saying it's going to be out up to Friday. So can we have the statement on Tuesday? Can we have the statement on Tuesday on the floor? Is that
Madam
okay?
Speaker, did I hear you right when you said Muhoozi, who is the state minister? There is a senior minister called Severino Kaindo Tafiri.
Can I hear from government? Maybe government is even ready to bring it tomorrow. Government, when are you bringing the statement?
Right Honourable Speaker, your guidance is already on record. Permit us to bring the statement without injuring the substantive matter in court on Tuesday next week.
Next item. Yes, procedure.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I love the fact that my brother, the government chief whip, talks of playing by the rules, which is really a very good thing. I hope he's not rendering lip service to it. Right Honourable Speaker, in the House plenary, during the third session of the second meeting, particularly on Tuesday, 5th December 2023, the House debated and considered matters relating to a response by the then leader of the opposition on the subject matter of alleged enforced disappearance of persons. And from that debate, the House took 4 resolutions, Right Honourable Speaker. To wit, that the House Committee on Human Rights and Defense, with that of Defense and Internal Affairs, investigates the violation of human rights in the various fishing communities across the country and report to the House. 2, that the Land Attorney General reports to the House in 30 days then on the listed political prisoners and their continued detention without trial. 3, that the Minister of Internal Affairs reports to Parliament on the progress of reported fresh investigations on the missing 18 persons, Right Honourable Speaker. And 4, that the Human Rights Commission will reinvestigate the matter of missing persons. Right Honourable Speaker, 2 issues from my procedure matter. 1, that on issue 3, issue 2, the government, by prerogative of the President, released some political prisoners. I will not go into the nature of conditions thereof, because as a lawyer, that is a new precedent in our jurisprudence. But 3, the Minister of Internal Affairs was supposed to make a report because they committed that they are investigating the 18 missing persons. It is 26th December 2024, Right Honourable Speaker. There's no report on the missing persons. Sorry, November, Right Honourable Speaker, I beg your pardon. There's no report. But the persons are still missing, Right Honourable Speaker. The denial was debunked because I provided evidence of the existence and the abduction, Right Honourable Speaker. May we get your guidance where the government vacated their former position and they are no longer the government, that we can seek answers from another entity, Right Honourable Speaker.
Government.
Right Honourable Speaker, we need to cross-check the records, first of all, to affirm the decision of the House. And if we come to the conclusion that there are those areas where we have not responded, we will call upon the respective sector ministers to respond. But I remember vividly this subject matter being debated time and again, and to the best of my knowledge, we almost came to a conclusive end of this subject matter. But we shall look at the record. If the 4 decisions were the decisions of the House, I am happy that under 2 and 3, you are saying some action has been taken. We must also applaud His Excellency the President, because upon conviction, he exercised the prerogative of mercy and granted the mercy to the convicts. So that is also something that we need to applaud him for, that because it is constitutional and he has exercised that right. So, Right Honourable Speaker, we will look through the record, but we deliberated on this subject matter, in my humble opinion, to its logical conclusion. Maybe if it is the House committees to report, then let them report on their findings.
Right Honourable Speaker, first of all, I was quoting the Hansard verbatim. Therefore, my honourable brother lost his record, and I'm surprised that he did not have record of what happened. And I resisted from debating the manner of release of the former prisoners, because I don't want him to saunter into matters of law and how they were convicted. But particularly on the missing 18, Right Honourable Speaker, you don't have to have a bigger memory to remember that actually they are still missing, and that there was commitment to report on their missing. Probably the minister will have to recap, and there should be a timeline in the immediacy for him to respond. It was the Minister of Internal Affairs who was supposed to report. Now that he's coming on Tuesday with a statement, Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Speaker, now that he's coming on Tuesday, may it please you that you order the Minister of Internal Affairs to come with both statements. Right Honourable Speaker. This was a debate on the 5th of December, 2023. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Check the record and let us give the report to the House. Next item. Procedure.
Madam Speaker, while you were communicating about the 16 days of activism, I was reminded to a matter that rocked the media last week on the utterances by the President of Uganda Law Society describing the person of the DPP as with a genitalia. There are words I cannot say here for the record, not even to capture. He said, okay, he described the DPP with her genitalia and referring it to her ethnicity. He added that she is a pumpkin. Right, Honorable Speaker? Myself and all my colleagues from the region, from Karamoja, and all the people, and all
it
the
is
women.
not about a person from Karamoja. Every woman in
Has
this
it.
country.
Every woman has it. Right, Honorable Speaker. It is important that this parliament pronounces itself before the practice of describing women with their genitalia becomes a normal in our country. It is important that this parliament condemns it so that the Law Council takes.
Honourable members, listen.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The members are saying they did not watch the audio. And they are saying it is rumors. The President of Uganda Law Society, in describing the person of the DPP,
I don't think you'd love your children out there to hear what was said. Honorable members, Honorable Nakut, can you finish?
Right, Honorable Speaker.
On a procedure.
I'm on procedure matter, and he's a senior member of the House. He knows that when someone is on a procedural matter, you don't put an order. He is a senior member. Right, Honorable Speaker. Let this House pronounce itself on this matter. The President of Uganda Law Society cannot be left to say anything he wishes concerning the person of the DPP or a woman in Uganda.
Honorable members, I am aware of the remarks that were said. I am aware of the remarks that were said by the President of the Law Society. The Law Society is established under the Act of Parliament. The Uganda Law Society under CAP 276, Part 4, establishes a council and prescribes its powers. This matter can be better dealt with by the council of that is established under that act. However, we ought to respect each other. We ought to respect each other. The woman you are abusing today, is either your mother, your wife, your daughter, your mother-in-law. So abusing a woman's private parts that you used to come out from is very bad. On next item. And the person that you are attacking is somebody of a high caliber. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper. Bills first reading.
Honorable members, I'll give.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I can see you have clearly opened a can of worms. I, however, wanted to remind government, not on this issue, the can of worms that's been opened. The government chief whip has come and said that the issue of political prisoners and missing persons and the like came to an end, I just wanted to remind him, not long ago, when the Honorable Balam Barugahara was sworn in, he asked for a retabling of that list. And that time I told him that list was presented to the Prime Minister, it's even in the Library of Parliament. He said, you bring again. I said, okay. He might not know how we operate. Let me get him another list. And he promised to give an update to this House. He should probably come and give an update to this House and tell us that, no, what I did was to go convince these people, just accept, and then you'll be freed. And then he should also give us an update on the likes of John Bosco Chibalama, whom the Prime Minister considered and said he was arrested by the state. So government needs to know that this matter did not end, because you promised through one of your ministers, Honorable Balam, to give an update to this House. We still want that update on the political prisoners and on the missing persons. So it has not ended, Honorable Bua. We are waiting for that update.
It will come, it will come. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper. Bills first reading. Item 4.1, the Forensic Evidence Bill 2024.
Honourable members, I received a letter from the Minister of State for Internal Affairs, General David Mohosi, affirming that the bill will be tabled by the Government Chief Whip. Government Chief Whip, therefore, will table the bill. Can we have the bills first? Honorable,
right.
Honorable Katuntu, I want the rules in this House on Thursday, the revised rules, because it seems
much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. They'll be ready. The report will be ready on Thursday.
Thank you. On what? Oh, you go ahead.
Right Honorable Speaker, I move under Rule 128 of the Rules of Procedure of this Parliament that a bill entitled the Forensic Evidence Bill 2024 be read for the first time. The bill is equally accompanied by a certificate of financial implications issued under Section 34 of the Section 74 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171. And I beg to lay on table.
Thank you. Pursuant to Rule 1291 of the Rules of Procedure, the bill stands referred to Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. I urge the
thank you very much.
And the committee should process this bill as per Rule 1292 of the Rules of Procedure. Next item.
Madam Speaker, you had allowed me to raise procedure after the bill.
Item 4.2.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
It was Ekanya first.
Thank you very much.
Was first.
Thank you very much, Madam Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, our Constitution and our rules establishes protocol and assigns the President assigns ministers tasks. And our rules commands that. It is very strange, Madam Speaker, to find a Minister of State directing a government chief whip to table a bill
requesting
and perform a task. Madam Speaker, I also find that the same government chief whip who's supposed to whip, including Prime Minister, has failed to conduct his work. He is now conducting work of the Prime Minister, ministers. Madam Speaker, is the government chief whip competent to perform his task, or there is something very strange that we don't understand, Madam Speaker?
Honorable Ekanya, it's collective responsibility in cabinet. Collective responsibility. It's just you who has failed to work together with the Katonga. Yes.
Madam Speaker, I thank you very much.
But Right Honourable Speaker,
I have a
Honourable Ekanya has gone on
issue,
record.
and I hope the government whip can
Honourable
also,
Ekanya
can also
has
follow
gone
the
on
rule.
Let him first respond.
But you gave me first. He also needs to learn to have discipline.
Honorable,
He's
let
just
him,
grabbing
let-
microphone.
Let him respond. Let the government chief. whip
Honourable Ekanya has gone on record challenging the competency of the government chief whip. I want to state to you, my honourable senior, because you came to this parliament as a youth MP for Eastern Region, I equally joined as youth member of parliament for Eastern Region, that northern region. My competency is not in doubt. I am competent 360 degrees in all aspects.
Madam Speaker, the procedure issue I am raising, a while ago, when the leader of opposition brought CDs and flash disks, you did not receive them. But Madam Speaker, let me give a short background, because we are the one who hosted the president of Uganda Law Society, and he gave almost a 30-minute speech. Just something was picked and put on social media. He had said that actually the reason he was bothered was that the DPP, instead of helping the women who were not allowed to ease themselves for 14 hours, and their knickers were pulled down by male UPDF soldiers, instead a fellow woman sanctioned charges of terrorism against them. That's what the president of Law Society was addressing. And this parliament must be much more serious than that. So the procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, a while ago you said you're on procedure, they can't raise order, so you have forgotten quickly. The procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, I made a ruling to that effect. I made a ruling. We are not going to debate on what we have already passed.
And Madam Speaker,
I only requested, let's have respect for each other. Let's have respect.
I agree, but it sounded like you were condemning the president of Law Society unheard.
I said, I did not condemn, I said their separation of powers. They have an act, they have a council, the law council. I did not condemn, unless if you are thinking of something else.
Item 4.2 on the order paper.
Yeah. Honourable Minister of Education.
The Technical and Vocational Education
Honourable
and Training
Zinjan,
Bill
welcome
2024.
Education.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET Bill 2024, be read for the first time in accordance to the rules and procedure of Parliament. I beg to move.
Thank
I
you.
also beg that you allow me, Right Honourable, to lay on table the certificate of financial implications, and also lay on table the gazetted part of the I beg to lay.
Thank you. Honourable members, pursuant to Rule 1291 of the Rules of Procedure, the bill stands referred to Sectoral Committee of Education and Sports, and I urge them to report back within the 45 days. As per Rule 129, he has laid the bill accompanied with a certificate or financial implication.
Item 5 on the order paper, statement by Minister